today we got something special for you. Look at this. Look at this. This is gorgeous. You talk about a frame off, perfect restoration. This is beautiful. It's a convertible. It's a convertible. And
First in the world.
on top of it, we have the owner of this car here today, and we're going to do an inspection on it. So everybody is going to want to know about this car. We've got it right from the horse's mouth, and it's going to be for sale. And Forrest is going to tell you about his car. Go ahead, Forrest.
Well, it's a 1959 Ford Galaxie hardtop convertible. This is the first hardtop convertible in the world designed by anybody. First one. And it was actually restored in California. The guy out there, he went to the Ford Museum and he looked at the Ford Museum car, and then he went back to California. The paint that you see on here is Gulfstream blue. This is the only car that I've seen with the Gulfstream blue. These cars came from the factory, all white and red, or white and black. That was the only colors they offered. But when he saw the Ford Museum car, he copied that car.
So it's not a retro mod. This is the real deal in the day.
Now, the car was totally taken completely apart, frame off. Everything was refurbished on it at a cost of $125,000. I have a poster that shows that. The car was brought to Florida, where it was put in the Ford International Car Show, and it won Best in Show. At that show, a guy walked up to the car and introduced himself to the owner of the car, and his name was Ben Smith. Ben Smith is the guy who was a lead designer for Ford Motor Company to design this car with his team. So the owner of the car said, wow. He picked up a Sharpie pen, gave it to the owner, and on the back deck lid, when it's up, he signed his name, Ben Smith. We have a one-of-a-kind car here with the Gulfstream blue paint, signed by the guy who designed the car, and the car runs as beautifully as it looks. Since it's been restored, it has 8,500 miles on it. It does have power steering, it has power brakes, it has power windows, and of course the electric top is a hydraulic. And does not have factory air, unfortunately, but that's the only missing link in it. But the car, it runs and looks as good as you see.
There's no corrosion. Look at all the coloring.
Yeah.
Look at all the trim around the headlights are all fit just perfect.
Also has the Kelsey wheels on it, which was an option for the car. When this car first came out in 1957, they had a smaller engine. It was a 298, I think. This is the 352 F-code engine, which is actually a much bigger engine and has the power, because this beast weighs over 5,000 pounds.
We put a starter in it not too long ago.
So the power on the car is the correct power. This is the wing area, 57, 58, 59. But the big difference is they had a lot of trouble with the early models. The 59 is correct. It really operates, this whole top lifts up like this, and then the top comes back into the frame. So we can actually do that for you. Around the back here, you can see this is all original, no damage, absolutely perfect condition. Dual exhaust system.
So we're going to see it underneath today. We're going to get a good look. And if you've got one of these, maybe you can see some things on this to help you get your restoration good too. So, I mean, this is a correct car done by the people who know what they're doing, and you can tell that it was done right.
Another kind of interesting thing, I put this car in a car show. It was basically a Chevrolet show put on by Dyer Chevrolet. It's the Ford. I won Best in Show in a Chevy show.
That's saying something.
And then I won Best in Show at a multi-car show. But so I have two big trophies, over 3 foot tall each. And
this is something rare that you've never seen. I've seen and been around cars my whole life, and I'm going to tell you, I've never seen one as nice and as clean and as straight as this car ever. So I'm excited to get up on the lift and we can all take a look at it. I start looking for, even though it's probably not necessary, but I started looking for collision damage, if it was damaged or wrecked or anything like that. And you could see by looking at the frame numbers and the mounts and everything on this car that it was never in an accident, or at least not in the front so far. You can see where they use some new bolts, where they bolted the fender pan, the top fender pan, top bumper pan on. I look at the wiring. Look, the wiring's all good. You get a good idea. The wiring's all good. It's a little stiff with age, but it's solid. It's not damaged. All the bolts are tight. So far, I can see everything's lined up. There's no rust on the back of the bumper, which is like, that's almost impossible. How do you do that in a car this age? And everything's tight so far. Now as we move back a little bit, I started looking at the suspension, the A-arms. You can start looking at the lower A-arms. All the bushings, as I look, are all really nice. These are nice, fresh bushings all the way around. I don't see any wear. The shocks, the bushings are good. Everything looks tight on it. As I look up in the engine, you can take a look here up in the engine. Everything, no leaks. Look, no valve cover leaks, no oil running down anywhere. The front, no oil coming down or coolant coming down anywhere. Everything's real nice and tight. The lines are all real good. Here you come across, you can see oil filter's not leaking. This is another fuel filter, is a manual fuel filter assembly. That's all nice and tight. The hoses are all nice and malleable, so they're not dried out. You don't need any hoses on it. The belts, the same. You can feel the belts and you can look at the spindles. They're all very good. The pulleys are, not nicked or damaged. And it's got the original style alternator, which generator we would call them in that configuration, is what we would call that. Now as you move back a little bit further, here we start coming into steering arms. Again, all good. Cylinder's not leaking.
Tires look like new.
Nothing there is leaking. Not having any problem.
Tires look like new.
Pardon?
Tires.
Oh yeah, we haven't got. Well, he wanted me to remind you the tires are like new, like they are new. so I don't know if I need to let you that. Anybody can see some of them still got the nubs on them. I want to take this baby out for a ride. So the exhaust system is nice. They put in a new system. You can see where they welded it up under here, and they kept the original downpipes from the exhaust manifold. And look at the exhaust manifold. It's all good. I don't see any cracks in the manifold from down here. I don't see any valve cover leaks or anything like that. The linkage on the trans is good, not moving around or nothing sloppy. If you look here, the parking brake lines are good. Look at this. Man, when's the last time you've seen a car this age where these lines aren't all rotted off? Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. It's freaking like brand new. I mean, it's beautiful. Sometimes I like a little dirt on things, a little grease on things. Keeps them from ever rusting or rotting. And look at the frame on this, man. Look at how heavy duty this frame cross member is. This is one badass frame. This was to make it rigid because it was a convertible. See the X heavy duty frame? This is built beautiful. What a beautiful freaking car, man. As we work our way back, the muffler's not hitting, nothing's hitting anything all the way back. It's not banging in anything, it's solid. The body mounts, as I was looking earlier, are all good. All the body mounts are nice and tight. No rot in the body. Look at here, this is like brand new. This is thing like it's been vacuum packed or something. Look at this. And you know what, they didn't do metalwork. It's not like one of the ones where it was rotted out and they fixed it. This is original. Man, oh man, I swear this is beautiful. There's no rust or holes or rots anywhere. My God, what a beautiful car. The same on the other side. As we check both sides, body mounts are good all the way down. Frame, there's no holes in the chassis at all. You can see that they put, the mounts are down. The rubbers are good. You can feel the rubbers are real good on the body. All of that. As you come back a little further, propeller shaft good. Tight, the universal joints are good. There's no leaks out the differential. Nothing. We could probably check the fluid in differential a little later. That's good. Again, nice new rubber mounts on the muffler, but I would expect that they put a new muffler on it. And by the way, you guys, when you do lift cars, you want to make sure you get under the frame in a good solid position. Be careful. Don't ever take a chance not making sure that your car is in a solid position. I always, when I get it up a little bit, I shake it and double check it, and I walk around and look at all the mounts. Just for your safety, always check your lift points. All right, let's back to what we're doing here. The parking brake lines are great. Probably could throw a little bit of grease. I always like putting a little grease on these, but you don't need to. The body's good. Here's the gas tank. Look at this. You know what something else I always liked about these? They got a drain plug in the gas tank. You know, how many times have we had to suck out the crappy gas? This one's got a drain plug on both sides at the low point. That is bomb. Love that, man. That makes your life nice when you're working on old cars. Like if you forget to, you know, if your car sits too long, make sure you drain your gas. Don't run that stuff in your car and screw it up. Don't do it. So there's that. As we come on back, look, there's no brake fluid, no grease running down out of the drum, so we know the wheel bearings are good. Otherwise, we'd see oil and everything here. You see brake fluid running everything out, running all the way out. This is real good. The only thing that I kind of found that was a little sketchy is the guy put a zip tie. Take a look up here. Although he did put a rubber clamper on, he put a zip tie holding the brake line there. That's a little sketchy. You know, on a car this beautiful, I don't know, I wouldn't have done it quite like that. I'll see about improving that so that doesn't happen anymore, or that doesn't do, because you don't want it rubbing and, you know, making a hole and then you lose your rear brakes. As we come back and we look up in the fender wells, no rot. The shackles are good. This shackle rubber is a little bit, these are dried out. Somewhere down the road here, you could change these shackle rubbers on these springs. See them? See them how they're all dry? Those could stand a change, which is not that big of a deal to do, but that I would put that on my list down the road of something that I would do. Look at this. Now, here's another neat thing. A lot of times you ever open up the trunks in the old cars and you look inside and the trunks are all rotted out, look at the bottom of this trunk in the back with spare tires. There's no holes in it. The original paint's still in there, no corrosion, nowhere. This car has been loved hard. So it's, again, and on this side, again, the shackle bushings, I would probably change those. Coming out the back, mufflers are good. Again, looking down the bumper, never been hit. No dents, no dings, never been touched, never had a tow hook on it or anything like that. But I mean, it's nice, the frame is solid. So looking at the underside of this car, I gotta give this car a thumbs up. So I think the only thing to me I would do, I think I'd throw a can of AT205 in it. I'd change those rubbers on the spring shackles on my list, and I'd fix that brake line. But underneath this car, this is beautiful. I mean, you think about cars at this age, and this is the way they look, you gotta be loving life, man.